The market is still strong, but we are in more of a typical market than last fall. Why? Some buyers are scratching their heads. Some buyers are being fooled into thinking or potentially wishfully thinking that the market will collapse in some way, shape, or form. I will say what I've been saying for several months. We are nowhere near the market collapsing, not going to happen. There is not enough inventory, and I'm going to show you how, why, how it all works and everything shortly here. Interest rates are also at 3%. Buyers have more choices. They've had more choices now, especially over the last 3 weeks than they've had all year. But up here in the northern states in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and those are the two states I'm going to focus on for the next 20 or 30 minutes, buyers have more choices than they've had all year. But now those choices are going to start to decrease. You're going to start to see less homes on the market. Obviously, in the first-time buyer properties, lower price points, the demand is still significant. It's extremely strong, but it's backed off a little bit in the higher price points, and I'm going to talk about why. I'm going to show you some data, and I'm going to go over what I expect to happen over the next few months. Anthony Lamacchia here with, I almost said Crush It in Real Estate, Lamacchia Realty. I want to talk to you all about what I see going on in the market. When the coronavirus pandemic kicked into gear back last year, we started doing weekly market updates, weekly. And then probably 6 months in, we switched to monthly. Well, now we are going to switch to quarterly. We're going to start to get back to normalization here because it isn't really necessary for me to come on every single month and talk to you all, unless, of course, something totally outrageous happens. Then I will be on in days' notice if that was to happen. But for now, this will be most likely my last real estate update for the year, and then I'll be back to you all in January. So let's jump in and let's look at some data just so that I can talk about what's going on in the market. And I'm going to jump to our Massachusetts Real Estate Updates page. And if you look here, we're first going to look at homes listed per week. Look at this diagram here. Very simple. Our marketing team does a phenomenal job breaking it down. 2021 is in turquoise. Look at the similarities on the amount of homes being listed per week. It's amazing how predictable it is, the downward trend. And that's why inventory is going to start going back down. So you buyers that haven't listened to me, the buyers that I said in the late summer, buy this fall, you're going to see higher inventory than ever. You'll regret not listening to me soon or in the winter, without a doubt, if you don't buy very quickly. Now, take a look at this. This is the amount of homes for sale across Massachusetts every single Saturday back 4 years. 2021 is in turquoise. Look at this, my friends. Right now, we are at what? About 8,500 homes for sale, which is like, it's like 0.01%. We got about 8 million people in Massachusetts. That is insanely low. And we've got 8,500 homes for sale. It's just not enough. That's why there's still a lot of demand in the market. That's why there's still a lot of competition in the market. And we're not back to pre-pandemic levels. For those of you that remember, I had predicted when the pandemic happened 3-4 months after, I had said I thought it would take until August or September of 2022 for us to get back to pre-pandemic levels. It appears, look right here, last year we ended the year at about 7,500 homes for sale. Okay. It appears that we're going to end probably below that. And then I'm hopeful that next year we will increase. We will go up from there. We'll see what happens. I think we'll catch up and we'll make up some ground. But it sure is interesting. Now look at single families. Single families are fighting the good fight to catch up, but just unable to do it. Look at the turquoise line once again. And you will see single family homes that are actually listed for sale, 4,378 this past Saturday night. It's just incredible. So we're going to end the year lower than again. Now I'm going to go down. This is homes pending per week, right in line with last year. But remember, we're putting the same amount pending per week, but there's less homes. That's part of why that inventory is still starved. Now, if you're a seller, you might be hearing this saying, well, what do you mean it's starved? My house has been on the market a month. It's not selling. Okay. That's because there are a few more choices for buyers. And in the fall, there's less buyers, particularly those that are buying move-up properties. That's why we tell you sellers, Don't price like it's spring. Don't price like last winter. Don't price like it's summer. It's fall. And what many people make the mistake of doing is pricing even higher than as if it was summer. So let's see this chart here, sold per week. We're right on track. Home sales are rocking. And look at this, 24% of homes went under contract last week. This is in the month of November. This is incredible. Last year, 20% went under contract, which was incredible. Now look at more normal years. 2017, 18, 19, 10%, 12%, 13% went pending during those years. Went pending during those years. And that's more normal. What we're seeing now is just completely outrageous. Look at home prices, 586. That's the average home sold in Massachusetts in the month of September. Truly incredible numbers. Now I want to scroll down here and show you something interesting. Take a look here. I'm going to try to go to full screen so you guys can really see this, although it looks pretty clear. I'm going to go full screen for a couple minutes so I don't block the data. Look here. When you look at this and you see October, now these are, for the most part, leading indicators. Homes listed, 2019, 9,300, 2020, 10,000, 2021, 8,100, even less than 19, right? Much less than 20. Well, of course it's much less than 20 because in 20, see, the data is skewed. This is why you can't just look back 1 year. You've got to look back 2 or 3 years because last year, our whole real estate year was in about 7 months. Everything got screwed up in the spring. Look at homes pending, down 9% compared to last year, pretty much even with the year before. Homes sold, similar, even, and up in September. So those numbers, I mean, what do they tell us? What kind of confidence does it give you? What does it tell you that's going on in the market? It shows you that there's a little bit more of an equilibrium going on in the market. And I talked about this a lot, and I predicted that this would happen all spring and summer. I'm not some genius, okay? I watch the data every single year, and I watch the trends every single year. And every year, predictable things happen. Now we're in the fall, and we are bothered by my wire. I'm seeing that on my screen, and it's driving me crazy. But every year, the same things happen in the market. And we come out in the winter. Buyers come out in droves in the winter, in droves. They're dying to buy homes. Sellers, particularly in the northern states, wait till spring. This year, they waited till late spring. They waited way too long. And there was a legitimate frenzy in the market. We saw a fire-hot, red-hot frenzy from February till April. Next year, we're going to see the same thing, but I don't think it's going to be quite as bad because sellers are going to come out faster unless we get a lot of snow. Okay, remember, we had a mild winter last year. So that's something to be aware of. Buyers do the same thing every year. In the winter, when they know everyone else is paying over asking, they're willing to pay over asking. They get to fall, there's a few more choices. Oh, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know, and they gauge it. You need to trust your realtor, particularly those of you working with Lamacchia realtors. These people are not lying to you. They are going to tell you what is going on. They are going to be straight with you. We would never stand for anyone lying to clients here at this company, okay? And our realtors would never do it. They're going to tell you if you should make an offer over asking on a home, asking or under asking. If a house has been on 3 or 4 weeks, why in God's name would you pay asking price? Nobody would do that, okay? And sellers need to get that. I've heard some recent stories of sellers that have been on the market at the same price. They get an offer for less. No, I'm only taking asking price. Nobody shows up at a home, says, oh, how long has it been on the market? Oh, it's been on the market for a month. It hasn't sold? Well, I want to pay $10,000 over asking, said no buyer ever. Make sense? So please do keep those things in mind when you're navigating how to sell your home, and listen to your realtor. When you're working with a buyer's agent to buy a home, listen to your realtor. Now, we are past the peak of inventory, okay? I want to take you back. I want to go back for 1 minute. Okay, I'm going to jump over to that screen, and I just want to show you something. Let's see here. Sorry, hang on. I want to show you something very specific on this screen. This is the amount of homes for sale every Saturday for the whole year. Look at single families. See where the peak was? Right there, my friends. Early October, late October, last couple of weeks it starts falling off. Okay. Let me go up here. It might be a little bit more defined. See this? That's where it happens. The peak is always mid to late October. We're past it. Now the decline starts. Look, every single year, the amount of homes for sale declines. Part of the reason that happens, every buyer out there that wants to buy before the end of the year right now is going, oh my God, I need to buy. I need to get moving. And they jump into gear. As some sellers are taking homes off the market, as some sellers are accepting offers, and that's why inventory of homes for sale goes down. Be aware of that, okay? Be aware of that. Now, let's take a look at, we're going to jump over to New Hampshire. I'm going to switch the screen. Seeing a lot of similar things in New Hampshire. One of the things that our agents are telling us, which is quite interesting, is they're talking about how, I'm going to look up New Hampshire. So NH Real Estate Updates.com. What our agents are telling us is, well, it's hot and cold. There's no rhyme or reason. But they are saying things that make sense, right? One of the things they're saying is, if a house is perfect, if it's in perfect shape and it's priced decent, selling right away. If it's not in perfect shape, it's not selling right away. Well, of course not. Buyers have a few more choices, not nearly as many choices as they had last fall or the fall. Well, yeah, last fall there was more choices. Falls before there were many good choices, more choices. Now there's more choices, but it's not as many. So if your home doesn't show better than all the neighbors and you're not priced better, you might not sell it. Yeah, in some cases, you probably won't sell it. It really depends. I will tell you, first-time buyer homes, small single families, condominiums, those are more apt to sell quickly. Those are more apt to sell quickly because the amount of first-time buyer demand out there is still significant. Yes, interest rates have gone up, but they've only gone up to 3%. I mean, the extreme low interest rates, it's changed. I came on here in August and I said to all of you, I made a prediction and I said, I guarantee you in 12 months, prices will be higher and interest rates will be higher. Can you tell I'm going to be right? It's pretty clear. Interest rates will undoubtedly be higher. Prices will undoubtedly be higher. So I want to repeat to you buyers who are hoping the market will crash, you are going to be disappointed. Will it crash at some point? Of course it will. Of course it'll change. We're nowhere near. There is not enough homes for sale. Stop worrying about catching a falling knife. It's not going to happen. I'm going to get on at 4:30 onto our Florida page, and I'm going to talk to South Florida. And for those of you that want to tune in, you can go over to our Fort Lauderdale Lamacchia Realty page, and I'll be there at 4:30 talking about it. And one of the things I'm going to talk about is now international buyers are coming back in. Well, guess what? International buyers are coming back in up here in the New England states as well. Not nearly to the extent as Florida. They have dramatically more international buyers than we do. But there's a lot of buyers that have been on the fence, restricted from traveling, restricted from making job transfers that are coming out now. There's tremendous buyer demand. We're not going to see a crash. Now, let me see if I can show you New Hampshire. Here we go, my friends. Take a look at this. New Hampshire's reporting is a little bit more limited, but I can give you the gist of what's going on. Right here, we have homes listed. New Hampshire, single families, condos. Look at this. We have less homes for sale than last year and the years before. So right now, the inventory is lower than it's been, at least in the last 4 years. But I can tell you with certainty, that's at least 19 years. Because all the other years before 17, inventory was higher, particularly around 08, 09. So right now, there's less homes for sale than at any time. I'm sorry, less homes being listed than at any time before, which equals, look at this, same thing. I'm sorry, this is pending. I'm sorry, I got mixed up with the mass report. So look at this. This is homes pending. Pendings are staying strong, in line with the annual, what we normally see, 453 homes when pending. And the amount of homes for sale, trying like heck to find that, can't find it. Okay, I can just tell you off the top of my head because I know the amount of homes for sale in New Hampshire right now is lower than it's been at any time on November 1st, but it's higher than it's been all year. That is something that's quite obvious to what's going on, and it points to what's happened here with the pandemic and everything else. But again, the fall is starting to get more normal. I've been quoted many times, going back a decade. I remember doing Fox 25 zip trips in the summers. And I would say to buyers, the best time of year to buy is in the fall. The best time of year to sell is in the winter and early spring. And people say, oh, wow, you say that all year. Yes, because that's the truth. Still the case. Still the case. Buyers that didn't buy over the last 8 weeks, you're going to regret it. You're going to wish you did. I guarantee it. And there's still time. I mean, you can buy, we sell homes 12 months a year, but the best time is in October. The best time of year. And when you get to January, February, March, that's a very tough time. It's very competitive. There's not enough for sale. Now, let's take a look at New Hampshire. Keep getting distracted with all kinds of thoughts. So I just explained to you, look at the sold properties per week. I want to close out New Hampshire with this. Look at the average price, my friends. Look what happened in October. Now, that's a one-off. It's 1 month, but it's pretty darn clear that the average sale price in New Hampshire is now about $500,000. Look at how much it's gone up since the beginning of the pandemic in early 20. It's just incredible. The power of real estate demand, the power of supply and demand is just extraordinary. And it's amazing to see what has happened. And I expect it to continue. Next year, we will see frenzies. I do not believe it'll be quite as bad as this year because there will be more choices, more sellers will list. Sellers, I can't emphasize enough. If you want to sell your home and you want to sell it for top dollar, list your home in January, February, or March. Depending upon snow, sometimes you push it out a week or two, but February, early March, the absolute best time of year, even the last week in January, very good time of year. Why? Because inventory is lower, less choices, more buyers. Every single year, I've done this 100 times. If this is home buyers, every single year, as soon as the clock strikes midnight and January 1st comes, number one day of the year for buyers searching on Zillow, January 1st, there's this many buyers. There's this many sellers. As the year goes on, it starts to do this. We still have more buyers than sellers, but it's a little bit more like this now. You get to January, it's going to do this again. Happens every single year. It's very easy to see. It's very predictable. And that's why buyers and sellers need to be aware of that. Sellers, if you are having trouble selling your home, you've got to make some decisions. The next 2 weeks is not a time that I would pull the home off the market. If your home is not on the shelf, it's not going to sell. Products have to be on the shelf to sell for the most part. The next 2 weeks is a great time of year. I wouldn't say a great time of year. It is the time of year that buyers who insist on buying this year will say, all right, I need to do it. And they get off the sidelines and they move a lot faster. So we're going to see a little burst in activity. We're going to see a burst in pending sales, contracts accepted. That's going to happen over the next 2 weeks. Then it starts to die out. Then there's a little bump right after Thanksgiving, but it's obviously slower. If you want to sell your home and you need to, you're moving out of state, job transfer, moving into your second home in another state, leave the home in the market, don't take it off. Because remember, the buyers that are looking during the holidays, those are serious buyers. The sellers that are listed during the holidays, those are serious sellers. And that's why as a buyer, if you look in that time of year, you can sometimes catch yourself a motivated seller. And that can be a great thing. And buyers keep that in mind as well. So that concludes my market update for Massachusetts and New Hampshire. The next time you see me will probably be in January. I might come on in December to talk about some 2022 predictions and to go over my 2021 predictions to see if I end up being right. I did predict it would be the largest year for home sales in Massachusetts since 2005. I think I'm going to be right. I think we'll have over 100,000 home sales. We won't know for sure until we get into January. If I'm wrong, it'll be because the beginning of the year inventory was just so tight and there were not enough people listing. But as you saw from the statistics, many more people have been listing over the last few months. That's all, my friends. If you want to tune into my Florida update to see what is going on in sunny Florida, at 4:30, I will be going live on the Lamacchia Realty Fort Lauderdale page. Victoria or Glenn, maybe we can take a link to that page and put it in the comments of this posting so people could click and they could go over there and watch. I think that'd be great if they'd like to check it out to see what's going on in other markets. Glenn's giving me a thumbs up. Thank you, Glenn. And that's all, my friends. That concludes my last formal scheduled update for the year. If you see me again, that's because something went haywire in the market. but I don't see it. We're right on track here to finish the year strong. Thanks, my friends. Happy home selling and happy home buying.